pretty sure I sound winded, but I try. I don't know. I've had that question a few times recently, and I really just don't know the answer to it. It's like I went and tried it out, and it's still sort of a work in progress with certain songs. You know, it's, I listen back to live recordings, and I'm like, oh, I need to work on that section, and I need to figure out where to put the breath, and some of them are harder than others. You know, Octopus Has No Friends is like the hardest one for sure. Yeah. Like just mathematically figuring out where to put the snare hits to match up with where I start singing. It's like the other night I broke a stick like when I was supposed to come in singing. I had to keep singing and play the thing with one hand and grab another stick while, you know, and it's like the second time we've done the song. So I don't even, I mean, I know the lyrics like when I'm just walking around, like, but then when you throw drumming into it and you're trying to remember lyrics as well, it's like, it's tricky. It's some mind power that I'm missing that I'm trying to build upon. But it's tough. It's like, and you gotta pick your moments, and I feel like on my own singing, I'm pretty good, and I'm a good singer, and I can do that. And then on my own drumming, I'm okay at that. I can play the drums, and I'm pretty good. And then when I combine the two, I'm mediocre at both. Yay! 6'3", and still growing. It's really tough to make it, you know, as a musician. It's really hard to. It's really hard for that to happen. There's so many different variables and so many things that are purely circumstantial that play into it. But I would say play music that you love and put everything you got into it, and you know, because that's the most important thing. And if that's the reason you should be doing it in the first place. You should be playing music because you love to play music and you love playing with your friends, and you love the music that you're creating and recording, and you know, and playing live. And the best way is like the old-fashioned, especially if you're playing like any kind of heavy rock or rock in general. You know, it's really like you really have to grow it from the ground up. So you just need to get in your van with your boys and get out there on the road and start playing it for as many people as possible, whoever will listen. You know, because when we first started, it was really basements and VFW halls and playing for four people. You know, making zero money, and but we believed in what we were doing. You know, and we were really excited about the music that we were playing together. So, and it just kept getting better for us, you know, as four guys, you know, becoming closer and closer as friends, and the music that we were writing, we were really excited about, you know. So that is in your head, you know. You start hearing riffs, you know, from I can't wait to jam on that, or I can't wait to work on that. So it really needs this constant flow of new songs, and just make sure that you love what you're doing, and then the rest is just kind of gravy, you know. But there's no guarantee that it'll work out, you know. There's no guarantee that you're going to be a successful musician, and it's a hard road, but you know, if you're up for it, give it a shot. Well, being that I'm not a taught drummer, I'm not schooled really in any way, shape, or form, and I really, I sort of wish I had, but then, you know, part of me wishes I had, but then another part of me, I sort of know that I'm not probably going to be like a studio musician ever. I don't see myself being that way. I really like just to play music that I want to play with the people that I care about, you know, or just people in general that I admire as musicians. I'd like to play with them and play music, you know, because that's what makes me happy. But I couldn't see myself like being a studio musician just because I don't feel like I'm that schooled enough to do it, you know what I mean?
Do you hear progress in your playing from album to album?
I do, in the sense of I do. I hear progress. You know, I think I'm getting better. You know, there's different like plateaus, and I think you sort of plateau, and you'll be there for a little while, and then you'll move up a little bit.
But getting better could not necessarily mean technical facility. It could also mean musical interpretation.
Yeah, I think that my interpretation of the songs that we're playing is better. You know, like I think that I'm able to reel it in a little bit more in certain areas and really make those parts come to life in a better way. You know, because I'm not so busy over the top of it. And really learn how to serve the song a little bit more, you know, which is a really important thing to do, you know, and not let your ego get in the way of what could be a great song, you know. So when I go down and practice with the guys, or even when it's practice by myself, I don't really know what I'm doing, you know. I just go nuts, you know, or I just play whatever I want. And I've always treated drums that way ever since I was a little kid, you know, it's like a toy, you know, and as soon as I remember, you know, I had a couple lessons, I don't know, I was 8 or 9 or maybe 10, I had a couple lessons and it was very like, you know, go over there in that corner, there's these 2 snare drums next to each other, and right, left, and I knew that I guess that's what I needed, but I was a little too young to understand that that's what I needed, and I didn't want that at all. You know, that seemed like school to me, which was, I hated school, so I didn't want that. I wanted to just do what I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I wanted to pick up the drums and play them when I wanted, and then I wouldn't play them for months, you know. Until I got like 13 and I started playing with other people. Then it became more fun because we were writing music and eking our way through Metallica songs or whatever we were doing, you know. And it was awesome. We got a band, you know, but as far as like polyrhythms, and you know, I've tried to sit down and like work on that kind of stuff and do rudiments and everything, and it's just so boring to me. I don't know. I'll sit there and I'll just be like, So like, I'm gonna do it every day for 1 hour. I'm gonna sit and practice my paradiddles. You know what I mean?
But you do things that make people think that you've spent time studying all that stuff. So if you had to say, well, what you hear me do that sounds to you like all of this technical, complex stuff that you would have learned out of a book, it actually came from this. What do you think it came from? I've heard you talk about how you've mimicked guitar patterns.
Yeah, guitar patterns. I had early '90s when like really technical death metal was getting popular, and like that Mr. Bungle record had come out. I was kind of in a band that sort of fused those 2 worlds together, you know. So there was a lot of very technical guitar playing going on, and I was playing mainly with the guitar player, so I would just mimic all his guitar patterns on my toms, you know. So a lot of that stuff came from that, you know, and just listening to other drummers, you know. At the time, I was really into, and still am into like Phil Collins, you know, and I was really into Billy Cobham, you know, and I would hear him do stuff. And I'm like, what is that? You know, and try to dissect it and play exactly what he was doing. So, you know, Mickey D is another guy that I really relied heavily on, and Dave Lombardo, and you know, it's just like sort of a big mixture of all those guys, you know, and a lot of that fusion stuff is, you know, like Bitches Brew, you know. I spent a long time trying to play along to that stuff and trying to take fills that I'd heard and do my own interpretation of them over the top of whatever. The guitar player's name was Eric Burke, and he just had such, you know, it was like I had to turn everything into a mathematical equation, you know, and sit there and count out what the notes were and then try to build a beat that would fit into that, you know what I mean? My friend Dave Whitty too, that he was playing for Human Remains at the time. He was really doing some really crazy stuff that was really challenging, and it really pushed me to want to do something odd, to do something different, you know, and to really build these bizarre beats, you know, that would, yeah, you could just play this, but why not, you know, have this whole kind of cascading tom roll that filled up that whole, and make that the beat, whereas that would usually just be considered a fill, but I'd be making this making the fill be what the beat was.
It was just all part of time.
Yeah. And I just would fit it all in there, you know. Instead of playing. You know, lots of that kind of stuff. That's what would be filling up the space, you know, and that was the beat. So, I don't know. But I love Dave Whitty, you know, he really had a big impact on my playing, I think, just because we were similar in age and we're good friends, and our bands were kind of very sort of similar, like doing something really bizarre and cool, you know, and different. And it's almost like a beat competition. We'd call each other up and be like, well, you gotta check out this beat that I came up with, you know. So it was like, it was just striving to be different, you know, and really then paying attention to it and not settling for a regular beat, you know, like really trying to go outside the box and try to figure out how to push yourself to make something unique and special.
Nice. That's it.